DraftKings Rock and Roll Pregame Show. My name is Jade alongside Ryan Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom Mazawey, the Woodward Sports crew. It's so good to see you guys. We had last week off. Much needed after the disaster. I mean, there's no other way to describe what happened. So the spread on that game, I think, for total points was about 48. I went over. And the Eagles almost did that on their own.
The Eagles, Jade, so good to be with you here on 101 WRIF. Joik Bell, great to be with you as well, my friend. Braylon's out today. He had the wisdom teeth pulled.
Oh, yeah, he had a pull.
Oh,
he
man.
looked good, though. He looked good.
That's a brutal surgery. Like, it's not, but it is. Because, like, it's easy and quick, but then you just want to eat something and you can't.
Oh.
No, I remember when I had my pull, I was eating chicken the next day.
I was pretty sure I was like a 17-year-old kid, and I ate a junior bacon cheeseburger that night.
That night?
It was such a bad idea to do
Braylon's
that.
wisdom teeth were like an inch long.
Yikes.
That's how big those suckers were.
Did he get to keep them? He's going to make necklaces for
I'm
you
not
guys?
sure.
I assume that he's going to make a necklace,
still
at least for
have mine.
Ryan.
Right. I mean, I should at least get a necklace, right?
They give you like a little tooth case that looks shaped like a tooth, and you put them in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I have mine or not. That kind of grosses me out, I'm going to be honest.
Hilarious.
I found all my kids' teeth in my drawer one day.
Gross.
All the ones I've kept over the years.
Sure.
The tooth fairy, chipped in.
You just,
got them all.
like threw them in a drawer, though? You didn't put them in like a bag or anything?
Yeah, they were in like a little bag.
Oh, okay, good. I thought maybe they were just like rogue teeth.
They were in the
a
little
drawer.
teeth, like the Joik was just talking about, the little tooth holder.
Yeah.
So I wondered, like, do you have to store them some type of way in order if something happens in the future, they can use the stem cell from it? I don't know. I think like
good
that.
question.
I don't know. You're already getting way too deep. We went so deep on Bitcoin 2 weeks ago that
and the people loved it though.
They did.
The people loved it.
Did you make any money in 2 weeks?
No, and I
you
had
into
further
Bitcoin, Joik?
conversations.
You never called me.
No, I know. I need to. Yeah, he apparently is, and he tried to explain it to Tom and I, and despite our age difference, neither one of us understand it. I was further confused.
Hey, don't worry about it. Even the government, the whole government doesn't understand it yet. So.
Yeah, that's what it seems
I
like.
can't wait to get their hands on that, too.
Oh boy.
They're well on their way. Well, despite the fact that we could probably talk about Bitcoin and that'd be more entertaining than watching a Lions game, we are here to talk the Lions. They're taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The last time they won in Pittsburgh, this is so upsetting. Like, what a sad statistic this is.
You know
November 13th, 1955.
66 years ago, Jade.
This was before the Fords even owned the team.
66 years ago yesterday, and something is telling me today that all the stars are lining up for them today. And I know I'm the eternal optimist here of the group, but Ben Roethlisberger is out today. He is on the COVID list, so Mason Rudolph will start.
Who's better than Roethlisberger?
I disagree with you there. I think the Lions, with the way we saw them play at Ford Field, getting booed off the field, 44-6, just a total embarrassment. Then they go into a bye week. I believe Aaron Glenn, the Lions defensive coordinator, buried that tape. Literally had a burial ceremony to bury the game tape. I think they're going to come out today, and at the very least, Jade and Joik, they will have the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to win the football game. I don't know if they're going to make the play in the end to actually win it, but they will have the ball with a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter today.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm glad he buried that tape. I'm going to give you a story real quick. So when things happen it's so bad and it's so, just not positive, you don't even want to talk about it.
No.
Right? You don't want to talk about it. I remember we were in London, and we were playing the Falcons.
I remember that game.
We were playing the Falcons. Guys got sent home after Friday night because of something that might have happened. A lot of guys showed up late to the meeting the next morning because the whole team went out together on Friday to kind of enjoy our time in London. And I think we had more guys late in that one meeting than the whole year combined. And it was so bad that the coach didn't even bring it up during the offensive meeting, like the night before the game. It was so negative.
Right.
We went out there. We're losing 21-0 at half, and we got back to that locker room at halftime. We looked each other in the eye. And we said, "Listen, guys, we can't lose this game. We cannot lose this game." Coming back and won 24-21. Defense played lights out the second half, and when we got back home, we thought that we were going to brush it under the rug. Oh, no, he brought it back up.
Well, yeah.
A lot of guys got fired. Luckily, I wasn't one of the guys who got fired. I was on time for the game. But a lot of guys were on that emphasis tape. And so, with that being said, burying that tape under the rug, and then coming back after this bye week, this is a must-win for the Lions.
It's a must-win, and I appreciate the hope, but, I mean, to sit there and watch that full game, and I didn't. I mean, I did. I flipped back, but I turned on the Munsters on Cozy TV. I was like, it's Halloween.
Munsters.
Love the Munsters. It's a great show, but I'm like,
his favorite show.
This game is more terrifying than anything spooky that could have happened on Halloween. It was just an embarrassment.
And if you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers play football, they remind me of the Michigan Wolverines a little bit. They will keep their opponent in the game.
Yeah.
They will not bury you. They will take the lead, and then they'll try to play not to lose. They'll take the lead, and then they'll run the football and try to run out the clock in the second quarter. I mean, they won't go continuing to go at the end zone. They just play very
they're boring.
They're very boring.
They're boring.
Thank you. And when you play boring, you allow the other team a chance to hang in that game. And it's no different from Michigan yesterday, right? You take the lead, and it's boring, and then all of a sudden...
Did they win, though?
Yes, they did.
Okay, when they decided to finally throw a pass.
But you look up, and then the other team takes the lead on you. And I think that can be the case for the Lions today. Pittsburgh coming off a Monday night win in which they kept Chicago in that game. And then all of a sudden they looked up and the Bears had the lead in the fourth quarter before the Pittsburgh Steelers said, you know what, we got to play a little bit here, and came in and won that game eventually. But their style of play will keep the Lions in this game.
This is a joint game because Najee Harris is going to carry the load. Now, he was injured early in the week. He's off the list now. He'll play. But, Joik, tell us about Najee Harris, what you like about him.
I like his toughness. And we had him on the show, not had him on the show, but we talked about him on the show a few days ago, where we talked about how he's taking 80% of the carries for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for him to be that young and be able to take on that role and take on that responsibility, and then not only take it on but be productive at doing it, shows his character and shows his work ethic. So, I like him this game, but like I said, we're going to get a game that we're not supposed to win. This is a game that we're not supposed to win. And just because of my past history of losing every time. The team I pick always lose, so I'm going for the Steelers. And I think it's long overdue. I think we had a similar situation when we played the Redskins back in 2014, and we hadn't beaten them 75 years at their place, and we went there and we won the first time there in 75 years. This can be a similar situation.
And then, Joik, you look outside, and I know this game is in Pittsburgh, but I believe they're supposed to have similar weather. It's a similar weather there that we're having here, where the snow is falling. It's a little bit wet. I think of that game in Philadelphia that you guys played. That was the Joik Bell game, I call it. There was no visibility.
That was a Shady McCoy game. They retired his cleats and gloves. They took his cleats and gloves and put it in Canada after that game.
Didn't you guys run a couple of fakes that game? A couple of trick plays? Was that like a reverse?
No. So we had a play, though, where I just ran like a regular swing route, and I'm running down the sideline, and I'm link up with the safety on the sideline. He hits me. I stay up, and I'm running down the side, and we hear the whistle blow. And we look back like, what's – and they said I stepped out of bounds. And we said, where? And the ref literally said, I can't see the line. So if you can't see the line, just let the play out, and then let them review it. Every touchdown is reviewed. Right. And it would have been – like a 60-yard touchdown, they called back. And
unbelievable.
So,
that turned the game.
It would have.
But this is a running back game, and that's where you'll miss Jamal Williams today. He misses his second straight game because this feels like Jamal Williams weather, a Jamal Williams running back game. Pittsburgh has that with Najee Harris and DeAndre Swift. For the Lions, he'll be one of those go-to backs today, where he'll get the bulk of the carries. You'll get Taylor Decker back today, expected to be back today. So Penei Sewell will move to the right side. That matchup between Penei Sewell and T.J. Watt. That is going to be a big one. We'll see Penei Sewell's first start.
He did good against Aaron Donald.
He did good against Aaron Donald, and he did good against Nick Bosa earlier in the season.
Hey, but that was that left tackle, though.
Yep.
Where he was used to playing.
So we'll see what happens on the right side.
I got the main question here. If you're the Steelers, you want to be the first team to lose to this team?
No one does, though.
I mean,
it can happen.
Sure.
At this point at 0-8, nobody wants to be that first.
That's why I can't in my head wrap my head around that the Lions can win this game. Now, earlier in the week, I talked myself into it.
Yeah.
But now that Roethlisberger's out, everyone's like, oh, the spread went down 3 points. It's down to 5.5.
So your hope isn't as high as Ryan's hope.
It's not as it was, but it isn't anymore.
Well,
Everything is pointing to the Lions now.
Yeah. You can't imagine it because
sit back and wait.
Exactly, and you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got a gift on Thursday night with the Baltimore Ravens losing. Yeah. So a Pittsburgh win today gets them even at the top of the AFC North for first place. So they've got everything riding on this one. I have no belief in Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Thankfully for Pittsburgh, I have less of a belief in Jared Goff, but I don't know how much of a factor he's going to have to be today. You keep this one in DeAndre Swift's hands and keep this a low total, you'll have a chance to win the game.
I'm going to tell you this. Whoever has a better run day today, that's the team that's going to win.
Well, we'll definitely talk and get more into it as we go. It's the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show. Plus, we still have to talk about OBJ going to the Rams. Some interesting things with the NFL for last week's Monday Night Football game as well. That was real weird. So we'll get all to that and more coming up. It's the Beastie Boys on the RIF.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next adventure. Spin it. Spin. Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's up, you guys? Kennedy checking in from the Cuervo Zone. I've got Stick right here with me. Thanks so much for joining me today, Stick. The Lions taking on the Steelers. Lots of things going in the Lions' favor today. We're coming off of a bye. Steelers had a short week. No Big Ben. Claypool out. Yep. And what else? Oh, we have a new wide receiver, potentially, that likes Jared Goff. They were texting back and forth about how excited they were to be on the same team. Again. So how much pressure are you putting on Goff today if this doesn't go in our favor?
I mean, there can't be any more pressure than there's already been on Goff. But now that he's going head-to-head with Mason Rudolph, you better show up against Mason Rudolph. And the Lions, if you get the chance, do what Myles Garrett did. Take his helmet and hit him with it. If we got to knock him out of the game to get to their third quarterback, I'm okay with it. But really, Goff versus Rudolph, I would take Goff in this matchup. So, say what you want. We have the better quarterback going in today.
And that is rare for us, so how exciting. All right, Stick, you know what I like to do is ask how many touchdowns you think the Lions will get. So Jose Cuervo has these delicious touchdown tequila sunrises. So if you had to drink a touchdown tequila sunrise for every touchdown that the Lions scored, how many are you drinking today?
I'm drinking 3. They're going to get 3 touchdowns.
I like it. And then what's your final score prediction of the day? I know it's a big ask.
Well, before Big Ben went out, I thought they were going to win 27-21. I'm talking about the Steelers are going to win 27-21. Now I could see us winning 24-20. I think Mason Rudolph is that big of a difference, 7-point difference. He's not as good as Big Ben. So if we can get out of this 24-20, we could get the dub.
I like it. I mean, Big Ben has been struggling this year, so you think it's going to make that big of a difference?
You know what? People say that about Big Ben. They say he's struggling, but look at a struggling Steelers team is 5-3. I wish we were struggling at 5-3.
That's very fair. That is very, very fair. All right, Stick. Thanks so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you, Cuervo.
We're right here in the Cuervo Zone. You guys know what's up. Make sure you come to O'Toole's, get the tequila sunrises, get the tailgate margaritas, get the game day Moscow mules. That's one of my favorites. All right, back to you guys, Joik and Ryan and Maz and Jade.
All right, Kennedy,
Nice job,
thanks
Kennedy.
so much. How about that? We are here at O'Toole's. Let me turn this up a little bit. You guys got me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, fine, good. Here at O'Toole's, it is the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show. Ryan Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom Mazawey. We've got Jade along as well. We'll rejoin our friends from WRIF in just a couple of minutes. But, guys, Joik, let me come to you on this one. Lions expected to have Josh Reynolds in the lineup today. How quickly? He's only practiced with them 2 days. How quickly does it take an NFL player to get caught up on another team's terminology, on another team's offensive scheme, what they like to do? Do they pare down the offense for him? Will he only play a couple of plays where he knows exactly what he's supposed to do? Is the playbook open at his disposal? How does that work?
So usually how it works, and I would have a lot you guys got me? Can you
Yep.
guys hear me?
I got you.
How it usually works is you'll go into a team and they'll take you in a room and then you'll You'll be there first thing in the morning. You're going through the playbook, a meeting by yourself, and then you go through a practice, and then after practice you have more meetings, and then when the rest of the team goes home, then they're calling you into that coach's office, that position coach's office, and then you're sitting there for another 2 to 3 hours going over the playbook. Now the thing is this: you're not going to have to go through the whole playbook, right? You are only going to have to go through the game plan. And so, the playbook might be about that thick if it was on paper, and the game plan is probably about that thick. Mm-hmm. And so you're only going through what you're going to play in that specific game. And so that helps them out a lot. And then, just getting the timing down and things of that nature. But as far as that terminology part, like the plays are the same. It's just the terminology that you have to go in there and just kind of learn. This is a copycat league.
They already have a relationship.
They already have a relationship.
That's the good thing.
Right. They played together before. They have a relationship. They worked on the timing before. Now, it might be a little bit off because they haven't played together for some time. But, that comes back. It's like riding a bike.
They were saying, matter of fact, I said it earlier in the week, Jared Goff actually reached out to Reynolds before the Lions picked him up. When they saw that Reynolds was leaving the Titans, Jared Goff hit him up. He's like, hey, did we pick you up yet? So they've been saying, in other words, he's looking for help. They need help.
I'll tell you,
he's the number one receiver now.
Yeah, he is the number one receiver.
Joik, you're so right. He can help himself. He's missed a lot of wide open guys. The physical part is one thing. If you overthrow a guy, this, that, and the other thing. But when you're missing guys who are wide open on fourth down plays, when you're throwing the ball away, like literally throwing it into the stands on fourth down, why you do just chuck it up down the field, and if it gets picked off, it acts like a punt.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't want to lower your quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Heaven forbid him lower his QBR. But look, you got to feel good for Jared Goff too, because coming into this season, he thought Tyrell Williams was going to be a number one. He thought Brashad Perriman was going to be a number two. You draft Amon-Ra St. Brown, and there's a good number three. None of those things have really worked out for the Lions this year. Certainly the top two guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown, coming around a little bit, but he's out of position. He's not a number one guy as a rookie in the league. I mean, he came in, drafted. You thought he'd be a number three receiver. Then he's thrust into a number one. So much of what you do offensively, too, is putting in guys in spots that you feel they'd be successful. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not a number one now.
He's not a number one, but I think us drafting him, we knew he wasn't a number one.
Sure, but he was drafted to kind of be your number three.
Yeah, he was.
And then you got the other two guys out front.
Now they're out. So now he's I don't say
he's forced into a number one role,
but,
right?
But I think this is good for him though in the long haul, right?
Yeah.
It's going to give him that experience, and then he's going to see
this
is how tough it is being the number one wide receiver.
And then Quintez Cephas, I didn't mention him. Quintez Cephas was really emerging. And he's out. So the Lions,
was he really emerging?
I think he was emerging. I think he was playing really good football. I mean,
you know what? Last year we saw a lot out of Quintez Cephas, right? And he looked really good when he had those other two guys on the roster.
Sure.
Kenny Golladay, he had Marvin Jones, and now you're sitting back and he doesn't look like he did last year. But I mean, he makes some plays. He doesn't have that top end speed where he can run away from defenders and take the top off the defense. He's not that guy. I think he's a good possession receiver.
Right.
I think Stafford made him look a little bit better than what he was. But, when you have Stafford throwing to you.
Fair enough. You've got with Josh Reynolds now, though, you've got a legitimate NFL wide receiver that's out there. You've got the Josh Reynolds. Now you've got T.J. Hawkinson. You got DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. At every level now you have a pro player, essentially. I mean, when you don't have really an NFL caliber wide receiver, it's real hard to move the football.
Now, the hardest part is coming into the season, we all said that offensively we were going to be the strength of our team. The run game would be the strength of our team. Our O-line, then you lose three of our top O-linemen. And now you have one potentially coming back today. And you still have one out for the rest of the year. And you have a guy that's playing out of position in a position that he's never played before. But speaking with Lomas Brown, he said that it's a good learning curve for Penei Sewell to be able to learn multiple positions because throughout my time in the league, I've always been taught that the more you can do, the longer you can stay. And I think it'll be good for him overall because he gets the opportunity to go against the best players in the NFL at a position he's out of place. And so this will be a great test for him.
We will certainly see Penei Sewell on the right side today. Expected to have Taylor Decker back on the left side. Jamal Williams is going to miss his second straight game with a thigh injury. And you look – if you're Jared Goff too, you're really happy to see Taylor Decker back, right? I mean, we all kind of talked about this ad nauseum over the last couple of months, and that's Taylor Decker. What will happen when he comes back? Should you move Taylor Decker to the right side and keep Penei Sewell there on the left side?
Should they even have activated Taylor Decker at this point?
Yes.
Yes. If it's not going to affect his progress as far as, him injuring that injury even more, hurting himself even more and having to do extra rehab in the offseason, I think it's a good move. It gives him some more, knock off the rust off.
Absolutely.
And they also give Penei Sewell some more tick to see how
reps.
And not only that, but very important for an offensive line to have some cohesion, to play together, learn to play as a unit. That is one of the more underrated things on the offensive line. We're going to take a pause for 10 seconds and rejoin our friends from WRIF 101 WRIF.
An experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Every Sunday counts as a win when you're partying with 101 The Riff. This is the DraftKings Rock and Roll Pregame Show.
Yes, we're broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. The doors are open. There are some people starting to filter in. Grab some beers because we are going to need it to get through this game today. My name is Jade alongside Ryan Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom Mazawey, the Woodward Sports Network. And unfortunately, we are at week 10. Of course, last week was our bye. But, 10 weeks of us saying, how can the Lions get their first win? And so usually we have you guys break it down. So, Joik, break it down for us. What do the Lions need to do today, which I would assume just to simply sum it up, just the opposite of everything else they've been doing.
Protect the ball.
Yes.
The biggest thing when the weather's like this is going to be protect the ball, make sure you're securing the ball, trying to fumble. Today's not going to be a passing day, so we're going to it's going to be run heavy. It's going to be run heavy today, but it's going to be a point in time that if we're not able to run the ball, we're going to have to put the ball in the air, and then that's when Jared Goff is going to have to use his arm.
Look on your face when
but
you
Joik,
that.
Jade, I think Joik makes the point of all points here, and that's you can't turn the ball over. Jared Goff has 10 turnovers in 8 games. You simply cannot win football games like that. You certainly can't do that against a top-end caliber team like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and then he's going to have to be comfortable in the pocket. He's going to have to take what the defense gives him. Stay, play within yourself, and don't try to do anything extra. Turn it to Tom Brady. Just take what the defense gives you, get the ball into your playmaker's hand, and let them make a play.
And how about being a little creative today too, right? I mean, help Penei Sewell out against this all-world defensive player in T.J. Watt. Help the guy out. Maybe do a Michigan State did it yesterday again, a flea flicker. Do something out of the ordinary and not so boring.
I'm going to tell you right now, we don't need to do no flea flickers. We don't need to do anything. Let's do the ordinary thing extraordinarily well to get this win.
What I think, though, is that despite the issues that Goff has been facing, he is not a rookie. This is not his first rodeo. He has been in the league.
Just looks like it.
He just looks like it. He needs to have some sort of confidence. He needs to trust his teammates, get the ball in their hands, and move it. And you're not a rookie, so you stop. Just stop it. Stop it. Have some confidence, man. You can do this. Hold on to the ball and trust what you have around you, because what you're doing otherwise it's not like you're winning games being afraid and doing the things you're doing. You're turning over the ball, and we're not winning games. So do something different.
So the mentality he had against the Rams when he played at the Rams, that's the mentality I want him to have.
Every game.
But I want him to play the way he played that first half against the Packers.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I want him to play. If he plays that way, take what the defense gives you. Don't be afraid to take a hit in the pocket. Get the pass off, and sit in there and just make the throws, like the simple throws, hitting Hawkinson on a wheel route that's wide open. Just hit him. Just stay in there and take the hit. But the thing is he going to have that against, against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But again,
you add that 1-2 here.
Again, one guy whose eyes probably lit up when the Lions signed Josh Reynolds too was T.J. Hockenson, because you at least have to account. You're not scared of anybody on the Lions offense outside of T.J. Hockenson and DeAndre Swift. So you could put 2-3 guys on Hockenson, and you can't get him the ball. Make somebody else beat you. At least now with Reynolds out there today, maybe Hockenson will be open a little bit more, and you got to pay a little bit more attention to a guy like Josh Reynolds or even DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield. Got to find a way to get your playmakers the ball.
Now, this is the one thing that's going to concern me. If you heard Stick earlier, he said that he think that the Lions will win 20-24 because Roethlisberger's out, and he think that's a big, that's a touchdown taken away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. My biggest concern is we're going into this fourth quarter and we're in the last 3 to 4 minutes of the game. We have to run our 2-minute offense or hurry up offense, whatever we have to do. I don't think we can use Reynolds.
Yep.
Because he doesn't know.
He doesn't know the offense.
He doesn't know the calls. He doesn't know the hand signals, and so we're not going to be able to use him. And so that's my only concern going into this game. Like, if we're going to win this game, we got to walk away with it, and then that last 2 to 3 minutes of the game, instead of running 2-minute offense, we need to be running our 4-minute offense where we're just running the ball to run the clock out.
I feel this is going to be like a 17-13 mucky, ugly game.
I'm gonna tell you why. So this is, and the reason I say this is a running back game, because when you get out there into open field in this type of weather, and that's a grass field, right? You're going to be able to, do certain moves, and guys are going to be slipping and falling because their cleats are slipping through the mud in the grass. And so this is a running back game because you get an open field, like you have the weather on your side.
Yeah.
I got a stat for you guys. This game could be decided at the coin flip.
Okay.
There's one winless team in the NFL, the Lions.
Right.
There's only one winless team for the coin flip as well.
Oh.
And it's the Lions. I
so
swear. You believe this?
You're going superstitious with it.
Wait,
you're saying
the Lions have not won a coin toss this year.
Didn't they win the Green Bay coin toss?
They did not win the coin toss. They're 0-8.
Really?
0-8.
Pittsburgh is 4-4. Best teams with the coin toss: Kansas City 7-2, Arizona, the Raiders, and the Rams 6-3.
Water always finds its level.
I'm just telling you, if the Lions could win the coin toss, that's going to tell a lot about this game.
Well, that is. I'm not mad about that.
Well,
I can get superstitious. There's all sorts of people on Twitter right now that make the friend.
D-Mac in the house.
Look at this. Darren McCarty in the house.
Rocking
yes,
Honolulu
clap it up.
Blue.
Clap it up.
Excited to have him here. We'll see if he can chime in and give us some details on this. But I'm not opposed to the superstition, and there's so many people on Twitter this morning that are really hopeful, that have the same hope that you have, Ryan, today. But there's also like here's the thing is I was making my tailgate food, and instead of using the Pillsbury dough, I used the other dough, and I didn't. And clearly that had an effect on the game.
Oh,
so,
whatever it takes. Whatever it
takes to make us go to sleep at night, because it hurts, I know. And actually, the last game, Tom was with us, Ryan, and Joik was too. Ryan, you weren't here, but Neil Rule was here, and he really went on a soapbox about it being okay to be the first 0-17 team, because that guarantees us this draft pick. And Joik and I kind of related on the fact that, listen, we know they're not going to have a winning season, but you have to win one game. You have to win one game. It's not going to change the outcome of the draft. That's significantly if you win at least one game and just have our moment.
Look, and honestly, if there was a Peyton Manning type quarterback out there where you absolutely had to have the number one pick in next year's draft, I would agree with that. But there's not. There's a bunch of really, really good players. Thibodeau, the defensive end from Oregon. He's a really good player, but is he worlds better than Aiden Hutchinson? I don't think so. So you can get as long as you got a top 5 pick, you're going to get some help next year. The Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame. There's 3, 4, 5 really, really, really good players. There's no great players in next year's draft.
Really what Neil wanted. He wants 3 picks in the first 33 picks.
And you'll get that.
And he doesn't want candy corn. Does not want candy.
And the thing he feels that if we win a game, he feels that it can be up in the air with Houston.
Correct.
Because he doesn't see Houston winning another game.
I can see that. I understand that. But at the same time, if they if they go 0-17, how did they go 0-17? Is it did they quit? Are they hanging tough? I want to see some competitive ball games here too. The Lions really play a boring.
Well, and that's
boring.
Well, and that's the thing. I can fathom. I am more accepting of an 0-17 season if you don't do what you did against the Eagles.
Yeah, don't give me 44-6,
you guys,
man.
You crap the bed. Let's just put it as it is. If you play like that, then I'm not accepting of your losses because I don't believe that there's any communication. There is nothing going on. It's a boring, bad football game.
Every football team that the Lions line up against, that team has more talent than the Lions do.
100%.
The rest of the way, that's just what it is right now. But they don't have 44-6 better talent than you
and the Eagles
have.
Certainly do not.
So don't give me those stinkers. If you want to lose 24-21, 17-13, and you want to stay competitive and you're fighting and you're giving it everything you have, then I'm good with 0-17 because maybe that's as best as you can do. But don't quit on the season here. Be done with that.
You know what it is? Because right now, the defense is actually our strong suit right now. Mm-hmm. We didn't think that at the beginning of the year. We didn't be like, offense is going to carry this team, and it's been complete opposite.
Right.
Complete opposite. I was texting Brad Holmes. I was telling him, listen, man, first, I'm like, this is, a rough first season. But I see the direction. I'm glad we have you here. Glad we have the coaches. He said, yeah, man, it's a tough first one, but, we'll get it together. Just the first year. I said, yeah, for sure. So, for me, looking at this game right here, I remember we talked about it. Neil doesn't want us to go 0-17. He wants us to go 0-17. I don't want that.
No, I don't.
By any means, I don't want that. But at the same time, I'm looking at, say, this game. You said we're playing very, very boring.
Bad ball.
This is a game we have to be boring.
No, okay. So
this game,
yeah, but
this game is boring.
But be boring and be tough at the same time. This is one of those games. You can have a bloodbath out there, for lack of a better way to say it today, and I'd be fine with that. Boring might not have been the right word, but you can go out there and at least try to compete in the toughness category.
Yeah, I agree.
With the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will say this too. In Mass, we had him on. In advance of the Chicago Bears game. Who was it?
Tom Thayer.
Tom Thayer. We had Tom Thayer on. He's the Bears radio analyst, member of the 85 championship Bears Ring of Honor there, or whatever they call it.
All-Century team.
Yeah, all-century team. He says when Mike Ditka got hired in Chicago, he walked into the locker room and he said, I got good news and I got bad news for you. The good news is we're going to win the Super Bowl. The bad news is most of you guys aren't going to be here to see it. So moral of the story is, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, their whole mantra should be, we are going to win the Super Bowl. Who wants to be with us when we do that? Because these games right now, we're proving who wants to be on this team moving forward. And I think that's the way you got to look at it. If you're every member of the Detroit Lions in an 0-8 team, challenge yourself to get up for the game, stay in the NFL. This is the thing dreams are made of.
I got an update on the coin toss.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, God.
The Detroit Lions have now responded to that tweet that I read you guys on the 0-8 coin toss.
Okay.
The Lions PR has said, this is inaccurate. Lions won the coin toss week 2 at Green Bay and week 8 against the Eagles.
Okay.
Look at that.
So give the Lions a 2-6 spread. That's the Lions writing back the guy that put that tweet out.
Well, we got to find something else, some other superstition to blame these losses on, because it's obviously not the coin toss.
Because I remember
that kills that though.
No, but I remember the Monday night the show that we did here. Yeah. Braylon said that the Lions, if they win the coin toss, should take the ball on offense first, go down and score, and take the crowd out of it. Yeah. They won the coin toss.
They did.
They elected to receive. They took the ball and they scored points on their first possession and essentially took the crowd out of it and had the lead going into halftime.
By the way, bad news, Josh Reynolds not active today.
There you go.
Well, there you go. That's going to change things. All right. Well, we are broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It's the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show.
Taylor Decker in.
Taylor Decker is in. Come on out and join us. We've got plenty more to get to alongside the Woodward Sports Network. This is just a serendipity that is working out. Sad but true. The Lions, we want them to win, but it's sad but true. They may not. It's Metallica. 101 The Riff, everything that rocks.
Week 10 in the NFL. Lions coming off a bye week, 0-8 on the road at Pittsburgh. We are making the cut here at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the place to come get a haircut and talk some Lions. Let's check in with the folks here. Week 10 making the cut. All right, we got Dave in the chair, lifelong Lions fan, 0-8 coming off a bye. Do you think the team made any adjustments here in the bye week to try to get that first win?
I'm hoping so. We need one at least to get going.
Do you think they get one at all, by the way?
I think they have a chance.
Is 0-17 a possibility?
With the Lions, it's possible.
Anything is possible with the Lions. Come on. All right, we got Ari here. By the way, Becca cuts my hair, too.
She's great.
Isn't she great? All right, good. So I wanted to get that in there. At Pittsburgh here, this is a very difficult game. Can they even remotely possible get a win here?
I think it's going to be rough. I'm hopeful. Pittsburgh's a good team. They got a great run game, and our run defense isn't so great, but I'm hopeful some things kind of come together this week and we can actually pull out a win.
Let's just cut to the chase. Is 0-17 a real possibility?
If you look at the rest of the schedule, we got some tough games coming up. It's possible, yeah.
Possible and maybe even probable.
I'll live through 0-16. I'll live through 0-17.
Right, well, when you get your hot lather neck shave from Becca, I mean, of course you live through it. You live through it thriving, too. All right, we got Sam here. Sam, sorry for the disruption. I mean, I know that probably feels real good there.
Yes, sir, it does.
All right, Sam. Anna, say hi, by the way.
Hi, everyone.
We love Anna here. Sam, everybody's talking about the Lions potentially going 0-17. What do you think? Could they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend?
Ryan Ermanni, probably not, but I'm hopeful. Steelers played Monday night, so typically teams play tougher or they struggle on Sunday.
Look at that. Potentially, the Steelers could struggle today. Sam, I think you're calling for the win. Are you calling for a Lions victory?
21-17.
Oh, my gosh. He's got me out of my chair. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. The Lions going to get a win against the Steelers. Back to you.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech. The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What's up, you guys? Kennedy checking in from the Cuervo zone with none other than Darren McCarty. Listen, Darren doesn't drink, but I do.
You're holding that pretty tight. Is that how you're going to get through the game today?
This is exactly how I'm going to get through the game today. Listen.
Tell them they can join us, too, here at O'Toole.
This is true, and you can have a sip, a shot,
I'll watch.
Whatever you need. But listen, no Jamal Williams today, no Reynolds, the new wide, right. And so this might be a little rough for us. What are you thinking about these? Is it possible?
No, this is perfect. Look at the weather outside. It's frightful. And the snow, and you just told me the weather report from Pittsburgh. It's going to be sleet, and it's going to be made in the pits. So, I mean, what else do you want? You're going to find out, obviously, the character and stuff like this, but go out and get a win. Not supposed to win. I think the elements help. Ben Roethlisberger not being in has to help. So go out and play a football game. It's going to probably be on the ground, but, I mean, just go do it. You saw what Michigan did. They had to do that after facing adversity, which was, if you could say, maybe Jim Harbaugh's signature win. Join us 11-1 tomorrow on Big D Energy, and we'll talk about it, or the bottom line, or Morning Wood with you. Well, I mean, that's all right. I'll get around to it. No, I'm not up at that time, Kennedy. You know how I roll. But I'm excited, and it'll be interesting to see. But I think they have a good shot of winning this game.
D-Mac, obviously all of the other Detroit teams won. We saw a win from the Pistons last night. We saw it from the Red Wings, which you've got to be happy about.
Can I just shout out to Tommy Mazawey? Yes, young Tommy. He was in the building last night. I was beside him when Dylan Larkin scored that winner. It was all Maz. I give Maz crap when it's his fault, but that was all Maz last night. Maz brought you the trifecta in the state. Let's hope the Lions can finish it off. So if somebody's got all 6 teams over the weekend, that'd be sick.
That was going to be my question for you, D-Mac. Do you have a score prediction?
What's that?
Do you have a score prediction for today? Who's winning?
Lions are going to win 17-16.
Close one. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, D-Mac. We got to throw it back to the guys at the desk. Back to you, Joik and Ryan.
Oh, I love it, Joik. We got the old 17-16 prediction from D-Mac, and I think if the Lions do win today, I think that's how they're going to have to do it.
On the ground. So if you guys look, like last week we did an episode where we kind of talked about I think the Titans were about to play. We were talking about the cold weather game and how guys don't want to tackle big backs, and that cold weather hurts more. And as soon as we put that out, I got a call from a friend. He used to play for the Packers. He also played for the Raiders. And he talked about it. He said, listen, if I have to tackle you in the snow on those cold games, I'm diving at your feet. I'm not.
Right.
He said those they hurt more in the cold. People don't understand. Like when you're cold and your limbs are freezing, things hurt that much more in these type of games. And that's why I'm saying this is going to be a running back game, because guys are not going to want to tackle you. That's linebackers included.
Now, does the offense have an advantage in games like this, or the defense?
Yeah, they do. No, offense has. Yeah. They have an advantage as far as the run game. Pass game, the defense has it, because this is not really a passing. This is not passing weather.
But at the same time, the offense too, and we don't see many grass fields anymore. I mean, when you get into weather like this, the footing can be a little questionable, and the offense knows where they want to go. The defense doesn't know where they want to go. Right?
And the thing is, like we talked about it just depends on what cleats you wear. Because usually for games like this, when it's dry and it's in this low-cut grass, you'll have like the little, half an inch or inch cleats. Usually when it snows and it's a little thick and it's sticking, you'll up that to about 1.5 inches screw-ins. And so it just depends. I mean, once you play in it, you can go out there, you can test them out before the game, and that's the whole point of getting to the stadium 3-4 hours before the game. You go out there on the field, test it out, see how you want. Now, if you really want to kind of mess with their minds to let you know, like, this is what we do, right? When we would go to Green Bay, we would go warm up like on our own, but I'll go out there and I'll have my shirt off, I'm out there just bare chest, and it's like, this is what we do. I'm from this, and, we have fun in this. Nate Burleson would do it. He'll go out there shirt, like, it's what we did. This is not, it's not affecting us. This is,
Is that just a mind over matter kind of thing?
It's a mind over matter. So I remember that was the coldest game I've been in was 2011. I wasn't even playing. I was on the sideline, and I gave a story about Sam Gass going out there with just a polo shirt, a visor hat, and no gloves, no nothing. And everybody is doubled up with sweatshirts and coats and 2-3 pairs of socks and 2 pairs of Long John Zone and a pair of windbreaker. We're out there, and I'm still cold. And I'm sitting on the heated bench with my feet inside, and I'm looking at Coach Gaz walking up and down the sideline. I'm saying, that's a tough man. That's a tough man right there. But we go in halftime, and we come back out, and he was dressed up just like all of us. I said, Coach, why you got on that Scully for and the 3 jackets and the pants? I said, I thought it was mind over matter for you. He said, I'm not doing that a second half.
that was good for 20 minutes, but not so much.
It was good for the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
If it worked in the first half, he probably would have kept it.
Probably so.
Hey, Maz, you said you had some inactives?
I got Dwayne Haskins is active for the first time all year. He was the emergency quarterback for the Steelers. So you got Mason Rudolph, and then you got the former Washington quarterback that they took from Ohio State with the number 1 pick.
Active. So
he's active. So Dwayne Haskins might get in this game.
What's up with those Ohio State quarterbacks, man? I mean,
shout out to he married a good friend of mine from my hometown. So shout out to Tim and his family. I have nothing negative to say about it.
No,
you know what though? But like we said, I haven't seen an Ohio State quarterback come into this league who has been successful.
It's crazy.
Mike Tomlin, when I was a kid, was the most successful, and he even wasn't that great. He was a journeyman quarterback, but now everyone's hoping that Justin Fields will be
Justin Fields is holding the torch. It's got to be
a
lot of people are on his bandwagon from Ohio. So I argue. So I have a business partner, and he's from Cleveland. He argued me up and down that Justin Fields is going to be a great quarterback. And I told him, listen, I said, listen, I have nothing against that. He's going to have to show me because I have not seen one good quarterback come out of the Ohio State.
And honestly, before Mac Jones,
Alabama.
you could say the same thing about Alabama. And
you got to go back to Ken Stabler and Joe
Tua
Namath.
Tagovailoa, they can't wait to get him out of town in Miami.
I like him.
And then you look at Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. They can't wait to get Jalen Hurts out of Philadelphia,
I like him, too.
I do like them, but they're not – and that could go to, both Ohio State and Alabama. The talent on those teams are so far and away superior to anybody that they play most weeks. Maybe 10 out of the 12 weeks that they play football games, their talent just blows everybody out of the water. So that talent, when you're an Alabama quarterback and you got Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs or any of these other guys, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, you got all these guys lined up.
You have all this talent around.
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. I mean, Mark Ingram.
You got
all these,
by the way, Mark Ingram is playing today. He is 20 because Kamara's out. Mark Ingram steps in for the Saints. Just picked him up a week ago. He's 20 yards short of being the #1 running back in Saints history. Mark Ingram going to come in today and break that record.
He's been there for a while.
They picked him up a week ago.
They picked him up a week ago. He was there. He was there when I was there.
I know, but he was. But he was with Houston
11 years ago.
Right. I know, but he was with Houston.
Did he win the Heisman in 09 or something like that?
Ago.
Well, he's back with the team.
So you know what? I'm gonna give you a very interesting fact. Mark Ingram and I both won the Heisman for our state or for the country the same year. So he won the Heisman for Division I. I won the Heisman for Division II the same year.
That's awesome.
And then at one point in time, the Saints had 3 Heisman Trophy winners all on the team with me, Mark Ingram, and Reggie Bush, all on the same team, all in the backfield together at one point in time in 2011 when they drafted him.
Joy, especially for a running back, how does a guy like that stay in the league that long? Like Adrian Peterson, how is he still in the NFL? I mean, the life of a NFL wide receiver, life of an NFL running back is 3 years essentially.
No, it's not.
Maybe not even that.
No, it's not that. It's like 2.6.
Yeah, exactly. How do these guys stay in the league that long and take that pounding?
Taking care of their bodies.
Yeah.
And a bit of luck.
I'd say a lot of luck.
Look at Todd Gurley's not playing. Todd Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley. You got backs like Frank Gore, who he's so underrated. I don't even get it how people don't talk. He's the 3rd leading rusher in NFL history. He passed Barry Sanders.
Yeah. And I'll never be able to name his name when they say give me your best running backs. I'll never say Frank Gore.
You'll never say it.
Never.
But when you look back at it, even at Miami, you don't look back and say Frank Gore.
Right.
You say Willis McGahee. Clint Portis. These are the guys you're talking about.
Yep.
You don't even talk about. Wow. But these guys play behind this guy.
Yep.
It's crazy. I don't get it. But we talk about longevity. This guy has cracked the code. If he plays, if he plays 2 more years, he has the ability to be in the league the same time his son is in the league. It'll be the first time that's been done in history in football.
Wow. I know LeBron's trying to hang in there for his kid.
He is.
And he'll be able to.
But LeBron can do it easily. LeBron can do it.
Yeah. And that's the guy that takes care of his body, too.
Oh, my
God. The story that I heard that he puts like $5 million worth of rehabilitation on his body every year or maintenance. $5 million worth of just maintenance on his body a year.
Well, you think about the food alone. If you just hire a chef and a personal trainer. Yeah,
Brady's
that's a freak. That's like we've never seen anything like that.
He's a freak.
He's 44 years old.
He looks younger now than he did when he was with Michigan.
He's older than me.
He only drinks organic liquor.
Yeah.
The vegan liquor. He only drinks Tito's.
He doesn't date regular women either. He dates supermodels and actresses.
Who
makes more money than him? That's crazy.
Right. That'll keep you young. Ryan, Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom Mazawey, and our friend Jade from 101 WRIF. It is the Rock and Roll Pregame Show. DraftKings. We're out here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. We invite you to come on out and stop on in. The place opens at 11 o'clock. Gotta love the diehards that are
real quick, Jay. When you did the introduction, you introduced my guy Ryan. You introduced me. You introduced Matt. But you didn't save me for last to do the casually strolls in.
Well, you showed up on time today.
I'm always on time.
You are on time.
Where have I ever showed up late?
You have not showed up.
He told me he wasn't even coming in.
No, he didn't tell you. You just weren't paying attention, Maz. We're going to take a pause. When we come back, we'll rejoin our friends from 101 WRIF.
Car. With Nissan
I'm so disappointed in you, Jay.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I just knew you were going to do it. How come I just casually, and we had to rearrange our seats?
Online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway.
Let's talk OBJ here a little.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
That's great.
let's do it. You bring it
I
up.
got a story. I got a story, too.
Okay.
You don't have to do some digging. How long we got? We got like 30 seconds? I want to confirm it.
Here we come. WRIF.
Yes, that's right. We are broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It's the DraftKings Rock and Roll Pregame Show. My name is Jade, alongside Ryan Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom Mazawey, the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining us. Of course, you can listen on the air or stream us online at WRIF.com. So, of course, talking Lions football, but going around the league, and I know you guys were talking about some of these other matchups, but there's two big stories that came out this week that I found were really interesting. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. Going to the Rams. That was a whole big thing. The Lions didn't want him. They made the comments, which I don't.
He didn't want them.
Well, and he didn't want them either. But Dan Campbell in his press conference, he was asked, what are your thoughts on it? Are you guys thinking about picking him up? And his response was just classic Dan Campbell. He was like, no.
No, we didn't talk about it.
They either didn't talk about it or they just straight up didn't want to deal with the money and everything else going on with that, right?
It wasn't bad, though. The money he's getting paid is not terrible.
Sure.
It's not terrible for the rest of this year. And then, but kind of how he just alluded to it, he said, if you talk to the other guys, they might have my same sentiments, all of that. But honestly, I didn't see him coming here being a bad thing. I don't think he would want to.
No, he don't want
to come here.
No.
He wants to go back to L.A., where he has his home and he has his friends, and this is his story.
The nightlife.
And the nightlife. But that's his scene. He's there in the off season. That's where he trains. We have the same trainer. He still trains with the same trainer out there in L.A. So it's like, you're saving money because you don't have to rent or buy a new home. You stay in your home. You can, you have friends there. And this is a story that I heard, and I'm waiting for confirmation. But just for you guys to know how the Rams got OBJ. Odell was on FaceTime with Jalen Ramsey and asked if I'll fit in with the other wide receivers. Ramsey got up, went to the wide receiver room, put Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp on FaceTime with OBJ, and they all told him, go.
So that sealed the deal?
And then Robert Woods went towards ACL.
And a few hours later, OBJ was picked up by L.A.
And then Robert Woods broke down the next day.
ACL. So, listen, hey, divine intervention.
Amazing.
Divine intervention.
For sure.
He goes there. We talk about him fitting in, and now he's about to be one of the
mainstays.
Here's the question, though, because I don't feel like he wasn't a great matchup with Baker Mayfield and the Browns, right?
That was Baker Mayfield.
But at the same time, I feel like OBJ has had a ton of injuries. He hasn't played. He didn't play a whole lot over the last couple of years. So is he going to perform? Is this matchup with Matthew Stafford and the Rams?
He's going to be great.
He's going to be great. It's going to be like when Blake Griffin was injured, and then as soon as he went to the Nets, he ripped off those snap pants and was just dunking on everybody. He just didn't want to be. Just didn't want to be in Detroit.
No, it was different. So with Blake, it was more so when he was here, he was the guy, right? He didn't have to be the guy there.
Right.
So he could sit on the bench and come in fresh and don't have to play 30-plus minutes a game. He don't have to do that there.
Right.
They, use him as needed. So that was good for him to go there because and there's no telling how much time he has left.
Sure.
And he, we'll see how he gets through the season.
This is Odell's really, I don't want to say last chance, but right. But this is Odell Beckham Jr.
Like
if he doesn't work out in L.A., where everything lines up for him out there, you don't have to be a number one. You got Cooper Kupp out there. You've got really an MVP caliber quarterback in Matthew Stafford. You're out there in L.A. You've got a defense that is going to keep you in every single game you play. If you don't succeed in L.A., where are you going to succeed? So these next 2 months are going to determine a lot of money for Odell Beckham Jr.,
Hey,
right?
I'll give you a guy that you're going to look for. It's Van Jefferson, Sean Jefferson's kid.
Yep.
Now that
Florida.
Robert Woods is down, this kid steps in as the number 3 because now
What a 24 hours it is for him, right? I mean,
From
Van
worst to
Jefferson,
first.
the number 3 receiver for the Rams, a guy that Matthew Stafford trusted and liked. All of a sudden, he thinks he's on his way out, or at least sitting on the bench because Odell Beckham Jr.
That's
is
his
coming in
play.
now to be the number 3. Robert Woods goes out there, number 2, tears his ACL at practice on Friday. So now Odell Beckham Jr. slides to the number 2 spot, and Van Jefferson is the number 3 receiver. L.A. is doing L.A. type things.
Yeah.
It is
Flashy.
like just a storyline city out there.
They're
now.
all in.
Sure is.
They are all in.
And just so we can be clear, right here, we say he was with Baker Mayfield. This might be his last shot. Baker Mayfield isn't on the same caliber as far as quarterback when it comes to Matthew Stafford. Not the same arm talent. It might be a little bit quicker,
He's
He's above Goff.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, usually when a receiver goes with Matthew Stafford, he makes them look good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say better than what they really are, but when you have a certain person throwing to you, and he can make certain things happen, it's gonna make you look better overall. And so I think this is. Not only is he going to do well here, he's going to do great. These last few games where he doesn't have the pressure, he's going to get targets. He's going to be number 2. Yeah, Cooper Kupp there. He's going to be in a room where he wants to be. I'm not saying that wasn't the case in Cleveland because he had close friends with the Juice over there with him. And so good luck.
Let me ask you this, Joey.
I'm pulling for you, man.
I want to ask you this. Let's pretend that you're Odell Beckham, okay? Wouldn't you have rather, football-wise, at that time when he went to sign with the Rams, don't you think signing with the Packers would have been the better move? Because the Packers did offer him they offered him a gig.
No.
And he turned it down.
From what I read, that was also the Packers were one of the places he was willing to go.
Yeah.
Willing to go.
Why didn't you want to go play next to Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers throwing to you.
No.
I mean, if you have the choice, and
You
let's
have
take
LA.
let's take football,
Let's
the
take
game out of it altogether. Where do I want to go and spend my time? Wisconsin or Los Angeles?
Well, you want to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Sure.
And they're en route to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So it's not like he's going to it's not like he's going to the Lions.
No, I get it.
He's about to win.
I'm just
and
telling you.
And last time I checked, who was in the running for MVP this year?
Matthew.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers, too, but he'll never win one because now what happened with him, he'll never win another MVP for what he's done. But if I had a choice, I would love to play with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, but listen, and that's another thing, though. If we're talking about that, let's be real quick. He's going to go there with the uncertainty of where Aaron Rodgers is going to be next year, and Levante Adams. And then now you're there.
But next year doesn't count.
But next year doesn't count.
Because he only has this year's contract. Next year he gets a new contract.
And you know what? I will be in L.A. where he's at. I will be right there.
Even with all the distractions.
That's where I train every year. That's where he lives. He's there training there every single
Well, the moral of the story is we think he's probably he's closer to being done than the start of his career. And he's probably going to do all right with Matthew Stafford. There's one other big story that I wanted to ask you guys about and your thoughts on it. Cam Newton, of course, back with the Panthers, which is, I guess, as a fan and not as involved in the understanding of the game, right? I can admit that. I love doing this with you guys, but it is sometimes I got to hold on for a wild ride when you guys are spitting these names out.
You know what you're doing.
I'm trying, but I know that he was obviously drafted with the Panthers. He was there for many years, took them to the Super Bowl, right?
MVP.
MVP.
15 in 1 year.
Left, went to the Patriots, that didn't, and now they're bringing him back. And I've always, especially big sports fans, the concept of bringing a player back, right? You've already gotten rid of him once. So what is the thought process behind bringing him back to the Panthers? Obviously, they need a quarterback.
Don't burn any bridges.
Well,
right in life, don't burn any bridges because you never know when you're going back. But I like this move for the Carolina Panthers. They have no quarterbacks on their roster that can play football. So why not try to go back to there is nobody out there now that you can sign that is going to make you a better football team except Cam Newton can at least give you a shot. He's hungry.
A shot of what?
He can give you a shot.
A shot of what? A shot of
tequila.
A shot of Gypsy.
He can give you he can give you a shot of Gypsy vodka. Okay, I mean he can give you at least a fighting chance, better than some practice squad quarterback that you're going to sign. You know, maybe you catch lightning in a bottle because I'll tell you this much.
I don't always.
I'll tell you this much. If the Carolina Panthers can go 4-4 in their next 8, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities, they can sneak in the playoffs. They cannot do that with
they got P.J. Walker starting today.
Yeah, with P.J. Walker.
Cam Newton is active, by the way.
Can't do it.
He is active. He might see some plays today. And the word is, if he does well the remaining part of this year, they're giving him a chance next year to earn the starting position again. They're just looks like Sam Darnold's days are done in Carolina.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
At least for the Panthers. All right, well, we heard.
That's what they you know what? I'm glad whoever his agent is, he need to keep him on the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep him on the side.
To go there and sign a deal that can be worth up to $10 million.
Yep.
Why not? Absolutely. Well, we're broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It's the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show. Still plenty to get to. Game time, 1 o'clock. The Lions in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Come on out and join us with 101 WRIF.
All right, Amani, man, thank you for taking your time to speak with Woodward Sports. Really appreciate it. I know this has been a season full of struggles. Just one thing I want to know is how have you been able to maintain such a positive attitude? I've seen you at the media sessions, and you're always, sometimes you show your frustration, but for the most part, you're upbeat and you have a positive mindset. Where does that come from?
Just the fact that we're blessed. At the end of the day, adversity, ups, downs, no matter what, I feel like we got the greatest job in the world. So, is certain parts of the game frustrating? Yes. But if you look at the bigger picture in the grand scheme of things, where else would you rather be? You know what I mean? So I try to just take that approach every day. I come to practice and preparing for the games that,
Is that something you learn from, family or, life, growing up in Florida? Is that something you learned from there, from college, or just, coming along through your career, or all of the above?
I think just over time, man. We just have been doing this for so long, our whole lives, that we just look at it as just like, this is just what we do. We just play football. But, now it's our job. And, I have other friends who used to play football, and now they have, regular, 9-to-5 jobs. They're just like, man, cherish that moment. They always say that, and I'm just like, bro, it's just crazy. We get to come to the facility in slippers, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a blessing.
Now, you're a young player yourself. You're 25, correct? And been with the Lions a couple of years, and you're young, and you're leading a group of younger players, Bobby Price, Jerry Jacobs, A.J. Parker. How are you able to be a mentor and lead such a young group while also trying to ascend and develop your game more?
Oh, man, I feel like, those guys come in, man, and they just are already programmed. I feel like these guys bring in guys who are already programmed, ready to work. Guys like me, Tracy, Will, guys who've been around here the past few years, it is new to us being leaders and being so young, granted that we're only in year 3 as well, but those guys just adapt already. They come in, they work hard, they accept the game plan, trust the coaching, and then just match our standard, you know what I mean, and try to exceed our standard. We just pushing each other all the time. Every day is a competition, so.
Now, a couple of those guys are undrafted free agent, undrafted, rookies. Do you see them coming into the team, into the camps and whatnot with a chip on their shoulder because they did not get picked up?
Absolutely. They're going against guys who might, on paper have the odds over them, but them being undrafted, they gotta always have that chip on their shoulder mentality. And I think, guys like you said, Jerry and Bobby, Jalen Elliott, guys who were undrafted, they all came in and took that approach, and that's why they're here right now.
Now, Jalen Elliott's been the man of the hour this past week. Everybody's been talking about his play over before the past couple of games was on the practice squad and got elevated up for a temporary assignment. Now he's signed to the 53-man roster. What did you personally see out of Elliott where it's just like, yeah, this is good that he's up here now?
He loves the game, man. I think he that's someone I feel like honestly inspires me to how he approaches practice every week. He goes out there, he's flying around the field, making noise, like he's in the game, and I think that gives him the best chance when he now that he has the opportunity. So he's gonna capitalize on it for sure.
So struggles first half of the season. Now this is a whole new season after the bye week. It's a whole new season. What do you see as the potential of this defensive unit as a whole to finish out the rest of the season? Like, where do you think the ceiling is?
I think we can be whoever we want to be. We have the players, we have the scheme, we have the right work ethic. We're never ever questioning anyone's work ethic. We just got to put it together and execute, I feel like. So, like I said, we can be whoever we want to be. I think, coming back from the bye week gave us a sense of a fresh start. And so we're taking that and ran with it.
Now, I don't know how much you pay attention to social media or the press clippings or whatnot, but of course, being 0-8, being winless, it comes with its fair share of criticism. How are you able to drown that noise out and focus on the goal at hand of getting, turning this team around and winning?
You just got to be mentally strong, man. Like you said, there are a lot of people. Detroit loves this city. Detroit fans love this city, and they're just praying for a winning team, and so they get frustrated at times when they don't see the output that they want and that we want. But at the end of the day, it's our job to come up, show up to work, and go to work. So we don't let that affect us. We try to just block out the noise, even when we're in our highs. Try to block out the noise as well.
What would you say to the fans who are those frustrated fans that you were talking about? What would you say to them right now as the team is going through this rebuild or this new leaf?
Yeah, I would say just stick with us, man. I think we're working our tails off. I think we're gonna start seeing some wins. We're gonna be on the other side of this thing sooner than people think.
With Dan Campbell now in town, you're working closely with AG and Aubrey Pleasant. Do you feel that their message from where it started in training camp and preseason is still resonating with players?
Absolutely. I think it's resonating even more. I think they kind of try to put a perspective in our head during camp that we would need to keep by this time, and everything they've said is held true. So we just got to hone in on those things, those little details, those things that they talked about with us, and just try to maximize our opportunity.
Now earlier I just asked you about you doing the mentoring to the players. Who's mentoring you? Like, who do you reach out to in times like this to gain advice on how to go through this adversity or, different techniques and whatnot?
Honestly, I try to lean on my teammates, man. I think who else better to lean on than my teammates, guys around me, because that's who I'm going to war with. So I kind of we have conversations, we talk about perspective, put certain things in perspective, and then think about how we can be better and change things. So I think leaning on them is the best. But I definitely have other guys, older guys around the league that I played with previously that might reach out every once in a while and talk to. So
everybody all throughout the season has been talking about the lessons that they've been learning from Aaron Glenn and Aubrey and the things that they have done to help them enhance their game. What is something that you've learned so far from AG that has helped you enhance your game or your attention to detail?
I think just the urgency and the sense of urgency it takes to play a corner is a lot higher than maybe I might have really expected. A lot of times I feel like, especially through high school and maybe sometimes in college, you're always just the man and you're always that guy, always more athletic than other guys. But the NFL, everyone's that guy, you know what I mean? So you got the attention to detail and the sense of urgency is so maximized and so much more important that I'm just starting to really, really hone in on that and try to take that approach.
Earlier this season, I talked to Trey Flowers, and he was talking about how the whole team was going through a rebuild, and sometimes fans would be like tank to the next year. But he said that you guys are not looking at this as like tank, because you're putting your bodies on the line, and it's a very violent game. What would you say to fans who are like right now with their team is that may still try to say that mindset like they shouldn't go out there and try, they just go ahead and just try to play for draft position next year? What kind of message would you say to those?
I feel like it's bigger than just football, man. I think like you said, we're out there putting our bodies to work and trying our hardest to get a win. But at the end of the day, like, this is what feeds our family. People can't just going out there and just like you said, tanking. It just, what does that look like to your kids? What does that look like to other kids that we're leaders for? So that just is not a mentality we would ever take. So
what is just one last thing? What is one common misconception that you think that fans have about what you guys doing as far as competition? Like, sometimes they'll try to say, are they really playing hard or anything like that? What do you think that fans, the one perception they have wrong about the team?
I don't know. I mean, it's probably a lot, but I would say maybe that they think we just show up and play. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much more to this that goes into it, man. The attention to detail, the amount of practice, the reps, the amount of just strain we have all just throughout the week just to get to Sunday. Sunday's the fun part, you know what I mean? And they don't. Sometimes I feel like people don't understand that.
I know you can't give too many details, but it's just one thing. One of those things that you can let fans know about that, where it's just like, hey, this is one thing that we got to do that y'all don't even know.
Shoot. Let me think. I don't know, man. I feel like people just think football is just like a sport. Like growing up, we just played it like it was an extracurricular activity. It's a job, man. There's certain things that if you don't attend to, you can be fined. You know what I mean? Like real money, like a lot of money. You know what I mean? And it's like, people got to understand, like, it's a job just like your job. You know what I mean? If you don't show up and put your best foot forward and be your best self, then you won't really have a lot of chance to succeed.
And last thing, what should be your message to the fans about the second half of the season?
Stay tuned.
Thanks a lot.
Of course, man.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What's up, you guys? Kennedy checking in from the Cuervo Zone. You guys know right here at O'Toole's, we've got Cuervo deals happening all day long. All right, I have someone very special next to me. You guys just saw him. Corey with a K. Corey Woods, our Woodward Sports beat reporter for the Detroit Lions. Corey, tell me a little bit about that interview, what it was like, all the insight that you got. Just give it all to me.
Well, first off, gotta say that was not my first interview, of course, but that was my first sit-down filmed interview, and Amani was great. He felt, I felt like we were just talking to a homeboy. He was real comfortable, but the insight, the knowledge that he provided, the things that we don't know that go on behind the scenes, and how these guys, even with the team being winless, they're still taking everything very seriously. That's what I really took away from. And you know what? Dan Campbell's message and Aaron Glenn, Aubrey Pleasant, all those coaches' message is not lost upon the teammates in that locker room. And I think that interview right there just proved that even with the way the season is still going, they're still fighting hard. They're still trying to get that elusive first win. And they know that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some work, but they're all for it.
All right, Corey, I'm glad you brought up coaching because I do want to ask you a little bit about Dan Campbell. He said he's going to get more involved in this offensive scheme that's been struggling. What do you expect to see from it this week, if any changes?
Well, you know what? They've already been saying that he's been out there testing the headsets. Chris Burke of The Athletic, he reported that. And I'm thinking what that's going to mean is Dan Campbell's going to, depending on where they're at, situational, he's going to be more, I'm expecting to see more aggression. They haven't been going down the field that much, partly maybe because the quarterback cannot do it. But I think they're going to see dialed up aggression. With Ben Roethlisberger out, I highly doubt that the Lions wanted to take an L to Mason Rudolph. So I'm expecting to see a more aggressive game plan from Dan Campbell. Anthony Lynn said that he is an X's and O's guy, which, much to the chagrin of some fans, they don't believe that. But he did coach under Sean Payton, so I'm assuming he knows a little bit of something since he was the assistant head coach and tight ends coach. So I'm expecting to see a lot of aggression out of them tonight, out of them this afternoon. Josh Reynolds is not active, so I'm expect the ball to get to as far as throwing. I expect to see a lot of Amon Ra, a lot of T.J. Hawkinson, of course, but I really think that DeAndre Swift is going to get really involved in this passing game today.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, obviously Jamal Williams is out, putting a lot of pressure on him. But, Corey, so today, obviously going up against the Steelers, over 80%, I heard, of bettors have put money on the Lions. Are you comfortable with that, or is that to you, oh gosh, we're going to get blown out because 80% of this fan base is thinking we're going to win?
I don't think that really has anything to do with it. I think they're looking at that big old payday if they go ahead and cash it in, because this is a really good chance for the Lions to go ahead and pull out this first victory. I mean, I ain't going to front. I'm thinking about cutting out of here myself and going to go place a couple of dollars on them. I don't know if I can or not, but, I mean, if I can't, just scratch the tape. You ain't hear that. But, I mean, it's a sign that they believe that with, Rudolph out, with Roethlisberger out, the team is already facing a little bit of adversity as well. But they can go ahead and catch him. I mean, the Bears almost caught him. If we're waiting for some bad flags, the Bears almost caught him. So I think the Lions could.
All right. Well, I like it. Thanks so much for all of your insight. Of course. Go for it.
It's been since 1955 since the Lions have won in Pittsburgh. So if they win today, that's monumental.
That is monumental. Hopefully they will get it done. Thank you so much, Corey, our Lions beat reporter right here at Woodward Sports. Back to all of you guys at the desk.
We're back with the DraftKings Rock and Roll Pregame Show on 101 WRIF.
Yes, that's right. We are broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It's the DraftKings Rock and Roll Pregame Show here on the RIF. My name is Jade, alongside Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Braylon Edwards, Joik Bell. That's who we got today. Sorry.
Look how
he's
insulted.
It flows. I know. The names flow. They flow.
I think it's just because you saw me here, right?
Yeah. It's usually because I got to look, but I didn't look at you if I would have looked at you.
You know what they say. All black people look.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Walked into that one, Jade.
Walked in right into it. Right into it. It's just the flow of the names. Let me try it again. All right. Alongside Ryan Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom Mazawey, the crew from Woodward Sports Network. We are talking football today, and I know Ryan's got something to get to, but Steelers lead the all-time series, 17-14-1, 5 straight. The Lions' last win is against the Steelers Thanksgiving back in 1998, which has been a minute.
Coin flip game. Jerome Bettis coin flip game. Jerome Bettis in overtime told the referee, he flipped the coin, he said tails, and the ref said, he said heads, and it came out tails. And Jerome Bettis is like,
never forget
no, I said tails. I said tails. He's like, no, heads. Lions took the ball, went down and scored. That was the last time he won, and it's a coin flip. See?
I'll never forget
coin
that.
Flip.
And that was actually the last time you actually called the coin flip in the
yes,
air.
That changed the rule.
You have to call it before it's flipped now.
Yes.
That game changed that.
Well, because shouldn't they have gone? Should they have gone back, or did he not? I mean, I guess that's just as easy as me saying Braylon Edwards is instead of.
There was
Joik,
no instant replay. No replay. No nothing back then.
They couldn't go back. Be like, oh, hold up, let's rewind the tape here. Let's go back.
That was at the Silverdome. It was at the Silverdome. It was on Thanksgiving Day.
Never forget it.
So do you think that affected the outcome of that game?
It totally
absolutely did. Sudden death. Sudden death over.
My God.
It was a sudden death.
It changed the rules of overtime too.
So the Lions got the ball first and scored.
And so that was an overtime coin flip. Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well,
those were the good old days.
So I guess what you're saying is we need to win this coin flip today, and that's going to put the mojo out there to hopefully win this game. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the people believe that the Lions are going to at least cover the game today. This just came out from Darren Ravel. The most lopsided money at Caesars Sportsbook, even though we're DraftKings Sportsbook pregame show, 96% of the money is on the Lions today. That means everybody believes the Lions are going to cover this spread.
That's today's bets.
Today's bets. Yeah. Lions plus 5.5, and that number is back up to 6 now. Lions plus 5.5. 96% of the money is on the Lions. And then you go down the Chargers at -3, 96% of the bets there. And then Panthers, Bucks, Patriots.
Not Dallas?
Nope.
Oh, man.
So that's a large spread. It's an 8-point spread.
Yeah.
But there you have it.
The Lions started at 9 at the beginning of the week. Then it went down to 8.5, 8. Now it went down to 5.5 and back up to 6. So the late money is on the Lions. It's because of Roethlisberger and the law of averages. You're playing an 0-8 team coming off a break. The Steelers played on Monday, barely got by the Bears, but they're home, man.
And I really believe, look, I said this before and I'll say it again. If you just look, Joik, as a professional athlete here, you were booed off the field at Ford Field. That's the last time we saw the Lions play football. You got a bye week to regroup. Don't you feel like you got if ever there was a time
got
to
the
have
second
some
win.
pride
You got the second win.
and kind of regroup here, isn't that today? Isn't that today's game where you come in and you say, we're not doing that again. We're not getting blown out. I think the Detroit Lions are going to play their best football game today. And they have played really good football. We saw them play good football against the Baltimore Ravens.
You know who I'm going for.
About the Minnesota Vikings.
You know who I'm going for.
I had to ask why you put this ketchup.
Is that for Heinz Field?
Plate here.
This is for Heinz Field right here.
The question is, Ryan, though, and I don't disagree. I think that they took that bye week. Let's hope that they come back. They're regrouped, and we've seen them play hard, right? That game against the Rams, that was a huge game that we had to come out firing. We can't get blown out against the Rams, but then we let it happen against the Eagles. So my question is, if they don't win today, if it's not a close game, if we watch another disaster and we watch the fans just leaving the stadium, I think
they wouldn't today.
They
sure.
Today. Sure. Valid
I
point
know what you mean.
But if they can't win, I mean, how do we feel? What is the reaction going to be? Because the Twitter feed and the online and the chatter from 2 weeks ago, it was depressing. It was sad.
On if we lose on. How did we lose?
Yes.
That's the question.
Right,
so if they fight and they put forth an effort, I'm okay with them losing. Obviously, I want to see them win. But if this is another disastrous blowout.
If they lose 38-3 against a backup quarterback making his first start of the season who's not very good, I think you would seriously have to question if Dan Campbell is the right man for the job.
But he's got nobody to coach.
No. That's not. No. You don't get blown out like this.
They're not going to get blown out. They're going to be.
She is presenting a hypothetical.
I get it.
And I am answering the hypothetical question.
That's the hypothetical. Because while I don't think it's going to happen, it's plausible. It could.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely a circumstance that we have to factor in.
So it's a plane crashing, but it doesn't happen too often.
Sure.
Sure.
So you're saying so you're saying, but based on probability, based on statistics alone, they should not get blown out because we already had one disastrous blowout game.
Well, I just think that every professional athlete, 99% of professional athletes have some type of pride within themselves, and you just cannot have a repeat performance like you did 2 weeks ago.
It won't be. It won't.
And that's why I'm saying that they're going to have a chance. They are going to have the ball with a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter.
If they get the coin toss.
Well, there's one guy here that's played off of a bye, and that's Joik.
Yeah.
How do you feel coming off a bye week as a player?
Let's talk about it. Back when I played, we had a 5-game win streak of winning the first game out of the bye week. Last year doing it was 2016. I think I had just got back right before it. But 2015 we had started the season off 1-7, and we came back after that bye week. In the last 8 games, we knew we didn't have anything to play for. We knew we didn't make the playoffs, but we still finished 6-2. Very well could have been 8-0 if we didn't get that ghost face mask.
Right. Against Aaron Rodgers.
Against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That ghost face mask killed us. Then they threw the Hail Mary, won the game at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That was at Ford Field, wasn't it?
Thursday night football.
That game followed to next week. We played the Rams and lost to the Rams, which we should have had that game as well. But like I said, we came back and finished off 6-2, and so we very well can come back, win this game, and then finish this, win a couple games going into next year because we're not playing for a playoff.
You got the Browns next week in Cleveland, so you got back-to-back road games before you play Thanksgiving at home against the Bears. So, do what out of these 3 games, you could win. You got a chance to win 2 of them. You got a chance to win 1 of them. Of the next 3.
It starts with 1. I mean, the more this thing goes on, 0-10, 0-12, 0-13. I mean, you got to get 1 soon, man. Otherwise, doubt creeps in as if it already hasn't started to creep in.
It's kind of like a hip hop or some like an artist, like a musician, when they have that writer's block and they can't write, they can't think of anything to write. Like right now, as the Lions, we have a winning block. Like no matter, we can be right there in the position to win the game, and then no, we don't want it. Here you go.
Right.
I just can't imagine a scenario. I mean, I can, but I can't imagine a scenario in which they go 0-17. You cannot. That is a stain on a franchise that I just don't think you I don't want to say come back from. You don't want to live. You don't want to live like that. You don't want to be 0-16 and 0-17.
Well,
you can't survive like that. Nobody. I mean, it's just not something you want to be a part of.
Not only that, but this is the first season where we have 17 games. And actually, Tom Brady had made some comments about it. He is not a fan of the added game from day one. I can imagine that probably a lot of players aren't a huge fan of it. For us, the big joke was, well, just another chance for the Lions to make us sad. But at the same time, you don't want to be not only is it being the first team to go 0-17, it's the first year we have 17 games. Like, you couldn't even let it go one season before we go 0-17.
Well, and just
off the rip, come on.
Bigger picture, I mean, if you bigger picture, I mean, if you go 0-17 this year, really what's your ceiling next year? 4 wins, maybe right. 4 wins. So if you're sitting here 4 and what would that be? 4-13, 4-30 in a 2-year stretch. Is Dan Campbell getting a 3rd year? I mean, I know he's got a 6-year deal, but I know he's got a 6-year deal. But I mean, if after 2 seasons you come back to me and you're 4-30, that's
it's going to be up to Sheila.
It's going to be hard to sell that. It's going to be hard to continue on. I mean, look at all of our jobs and the things that you do. If you have a losing record, how long is your business, your company going to allow you to continue?
And then Jade,
underperforming.
Let's say you get a 3rd year.
As long as it takes.
Let's say you get a 3rd year. What's your cap on year 3? 7 wins.
Right.
So you go 7-10. So then you're sitting there 11-40.
Right.
After 3 seasons, are you getting a 4th season?
No.
You're not.
You're not.
So that's why I think you really have to start winning some football games here, and it starts with today, a perfect opportunity to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers today without their starting quarterback.
I'm going to tell you why you're going to get a 3rd and 4th year. Because right now, even after this year, going into next year, we're going to be strapped as far as our salary cap. We're strapped. Right? We're strapped for this year and next year we're strapped. So we go out there next year, we can go into free agency after next season, and we can start grabbing guys in free agency. Who's going to be there? I don't know yet. I don't know the future. But I know we'll have more money to spend, to play around, to shop out, and make it more enticing for guys to want to come here and make this a destination. But you got to think, also, on top of that, in the next 3 to 4 years, Detroit is going to be a destination spot. Everything that they're doing downtown, the development around the city, everything that's going on, Detroit is beautiful. Like, when I talk to people that aren't from here and they come visit for the first time, they say, wow, I didn't know Detroit looked like this. What did you think it was?
Right.
I thought people got killed here. That's what they told me. I said, no. I said, no, Detroit is beautiful. I was like, take them downtown. They can see Canada, right? They say, is that Canada? But they can't believe that's Canada.
Not every team has the success in signing free agents like the LA Rams. Like, I can't think of another team that has signed free agents where it's literally worked out with every player. Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. Well, we don't even know, but Von Miller. Right? Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. We don't know yet, though. We don't know yet. That's true. We don't know. We don't know yet. But by the same token, teams cannot be built through free agency. Your teams have to be built through the draft. And over the next 2 years, you've got to have, out of those drafts, you've got to have 10 starters.
I disagree.
You got to have 10 starters in the next 2 drafts, or at least 8. 8 starters. I'll admit.
So what do you need then, Joey?
You build a team through the draft with key free agents that can help take these younger guys and mold them. I don't see a group of a bunch of rookies coming in and knowing what it takes to win. They don't know what it takes to win. That's why you need a guy like Aaron Rodgers. That's why you need a guy like Matthew Stafford. That's why you need a guy like Aaron Donald. That's why you need a guy like
But did they feel like they were getting that with Jared Goff though, a guy who went to the Super Bowl?
But we talk about the Rams. Tampa Bay did the same thing. They picked up Gronk. They got Antonio Brown. Now these are the guys that has picked up guys and been successful. It's worked out for them.
I mean, Tom Brady's a unicorn. You
picked up Tom
man.
Brady.
He's a unicorn though.
He's a robot unicorn.
I don't disagree with you. They have to sign free agents.
That's what they need.
As the core of your team, I think it's got to be built through the draft.
I'm asking this. What rookie on that team you say, all right, this rookie right here is what helped Tampa Bay win last year? Or was it our free agent?
Way different. None of them. They were
exactly.
But they were 9-17. They were 9-17 that Jameis.
He threw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. All they needed was the quarterback, and they got him. They got the quarterback.
Okay,
and then
they got the quarterback off of who?
Tampa, off of the Patriots, off of free agency.
Off of free agency.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important. Like, it's important to pick up guys in the draft.
Yeah, when you're good, you pick up good free agents. No free agents coming here. The only idiots we got were the expatriates. Speaking of them, Quinn against Patricia today.
Can't wait.
Cleveland against New England.
I hope that game ends in a tie.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Well, I think that overall, the next few years with the Lions, there's going to be a lot of work to be had, and only time will tell. Like Joik said, we cannot predict the future, and just hopefully make some plays. And maybe we need to sit down with Brad and Dan, and I think that you guys have some valuable info. So
I agree.
We'll see if we can, we can get him.
Set that up.
All right, we're broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It's the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show. Come on down and join us. Lions against the Steelers, 1 o'clock today.
Lomas Brown is joining us today because we got some questions about the offensive line and just the Lions overall in general. Hey, Lomas, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, fellas. How y'all doing? Joe, what up, my brother?
Big Lo, what's up? It's always good to see you, my guy. Now, so Lomas is the epitome. Lomas is the epitome of work hard now during his playing days and live the rest of your life a champion. That's the definition of Lomas. That's right. That's the epitome right here.
I like that. I like that, George.
Yeah.
Well, we love having your voice as a part of the Lions and, just getting your insight. And I know you do your podcast as well. So, obviously, the big news this week is Taylor Decker is back, and they made the decision to move Penei Sewell back to right tackle. So, as a lineman in the NFL, what do you think of that move? Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think they should keep him on the left side? Just how are you feeling about that?
No, I don't have a problem with that move at all. Like I tell everybody, the NFL is a learning curve. I don't care who you come in, what position you come in playing. It's a learning curve. You're going to have to learn how to play in the NFL. It's the little nuances that go with playing in the NFL. And for me, if you could take this young fella, this 20-year-old, 21-year-old offensive lineman, put him on the right side, let him get his foundation, his footwork, let him get all that stuff up under his belt. Like I say, he's still young. We know he didn't play last year because he opted out at Oregon. So, it's been a while since, other than this coming into this season where he had real action. So, to me, you give him an opportunity to let the game slow down a little bit for him on the right-hand side because, you face all the team's best pass rushers. As the left tackle, you're going to face all the opposing team's best pass rushers. Just give him an opportunity to get his footwork and his foundation up under him. So I don't have a problem with that move. Plus, it's going to make that offensive line better. He's a better player than Matt Nelson is over there at the right tackle position. So it's just going to make that offensive line better too.
So real quick, now, obviously you know the O-line, you know it in and out, every position. My question to you is, what is it in Penei Sewell that you see that's special?
Oh, my bro. First of all, George, his feet, man. He got some good feet, man. Anytime you can get a big 300-pounder out in space to try to cover up on those DBs or cover up on linebackers, he can do that. He's quick. He has the footwork. And I like that he's a technician. I mean, even early, you could just see he's kind of grounded with his footwork, meaning that his initial kick is good. His sets is good. He keeps his hands up in the good blocking position. So he has the foundations for a lot of
Lomas experiencing some technical difficulties in his car right there, but I love hearing from him and loving his opinion right now. One of the things I wanted to ask Lomas was, I got a crazy theory about what we can do with Penei Sewell because some people don't want to move him back to the right, some people want to keep him on the left. What about moving him to left guard? And then the left side of our line goes Decker, Sewell, Ragnow when he comes back. And we just tell people, we're running left, try to stop us with these monsters. Is that a stupid idea?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay, why is it stupid though?
Huh?
Why is it stupid though?
That's a stupid idea because it would be one-dimensional. So you just stack that side and say, okay, we're going to put it. No, I don't think it. No, spread it out. You have you're going to have two of our best players on the edge on our offensive line, and then you'll have a strong center right there that's going to make the center. No, you spread it out. And
but the argument is, if we move him to the right side, everything he's been doing his whole life, he's going to have to switch, right? You step back with your left foot, you punch with your right. Now you got to step back with your right and punch with your left. So
it's a different
his
position,
muscle memory is going to be different if you move him to the right.
You know what it is? Like Lomas said, this is a learning curve. You want to weigh in on that a little bit, Lomas?
Yeah, I'm sorry, fellas. I don't know what happened, but yeah, and like I say again, you know, and I've had to play the right tackle. I played the left tackle position my whole career, and in the Pro Bowls, I had to play the right tackle position. And you guys are right; it's an adjustment that he's going to have to make. But again, I just think the benefits of him, like I say, learning the NFL, learning some of the little nuances of the NFL and how to block these defensive ends, you know, how to set on these guys, how to set these guys up too. Because as an offensive lineman, man, you have to be one step ahead of these guys. You just can't keep pass setting the same way and think you're going to have success against some of these great pass rushers. So I just think, you know, he needs that time to learn. He needs to kind of get over that learning curve a little bit. And I think by them moving him to the right tackle position, it's going to allow him time to do that. Left tackle is natural for him. That's a natural position for him. So it shouldn't take as long when he goes back to the left side for him to adjust and get back in the groove of playing the left tackle position. But again, he still needs that learning curve up under his belt.
Lomas, obviously we saw in preseason he struggled a bit at that right tackle position. Do you think that was more of just not playing for a year, he opted out of the year at Oregon? Do you think that was just more him knocking off the rust, or do you think that was an indication of what might happen at that right tackle position?
Well, I agree. That's a great question. I agree. A big part of that was him not playing. You know, that's a big part of that. And yeah, you're right. A part of that is, you know, he's going to have to learn that position. I mean, it's something that's new to him that he's going to have to learn. Look at a guy like Mac Nelson. If you think about this guy, he was a defensive lineman that got converted to the offensive line. He's playing at a pretty good level. You know, he's not that bad playing the right tackle position. So it's something that he can learn. It's something that Penei Sewell, he'll get used to being on the right side for the rest of this year or next year, however long they want to keep him over there. But once he's able, or once they're ready to move him to the left side, I just think, again, that he's going to find his footwork, he's going to find his grooving, and I think that process will be a little easier for him once he's able to move over there.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's great that he's able to learn both these positions and go through this learning curve, because one thing I've always learned, one thing you learn, that the more you can do in this league, the longer you'll stick around. Right, the more you can do, the longer you stick around. That's one thing that always stuck with me when I came into the league, and the coaches would always tell me, well, you know, play special teams. The more you can do, the longer you stick around.
That's in life too.
Yeah, you know, by the way, that's in life, and that's right. And those are the some of the same things that you'll learn on the football field that you can put towards, you know, life situations, right? And so. You talk about Nelson. Do you think him playing defense has helped him playing that right tackle, kind of knowing how the defensive line thinks and know how he used to think as a defensive player? You think that opened up his eyes? For sure?
Absolutely, George. I've always said that, if you needed somebody to help a defensive end out, go to an offensive tackle. If the same thing, if you needed an offensive tackle to get helped out, go to a defensive end. These guys face each other. They, like you say, they know the little nuances of what these guys like to do. That's the easiest thing to me. That's what I used to do, man. I used to talk to the defensive linemen so much about how they attack offensive linemen. What are some of the things you look to do against an offensive lineman? How do you get this guy off balance? You know, just some of the things that'll help you be successful against these guys. These are the guys that do it every day. These guys can tell you the little things that you need to work on, the little techniques that you need to do to be successful in this league. So, yeah, I agree. I think with Matt Nelson, I think by him playing defensive line, I think that helped him when he came over to play the offensive line because, again, they know some of the things as defensive linemen they like to try to do to the offensive linemen to get them off balance or get them off their game.
All right, Lomas, I got a very serious question for you. You were a part of the 91 playoff win team here in Detroit, our last playoff win and our only playoff win since the 50s. What was that like? Honestly, what was the vibe of the Silverdome in the city? Because, Nick Leach is a young guy. He doesn't even know what it's like to witness that. I was very young when it happened, but I still at least got to watch you guys win a playoff game. What will the city be like when the Lions get to that level again and actually win?
Oh, my God, man. That's funny you say that, man, because I'm telling you, man, they used to tell us all the time in the locker room, if you guys ever won or you guys ever got to the Super Bowl, you would own the state of Michigan, not just the city of Detroit. You would own the whole state of Michigan because this is a blue-collar town.
Right.
That's what it's all about here. Hard-working people, people that put the time in. That's what Detroit represents. And as a football team, that's what we tried to represent back in the 90s. We wanted to be a tough, hard-nosed team that played every game to the end. And I'm telling you, the fans appreciate that. They really do, man. We got some of the best fans in the National Football League. And I say that because I see it. Going out doing radio now and getting the opportunity to go to all these different venues where the Lions travel to, man, Lion fans are there in droves. Lion fans show up at the away game. We just haven't given them anything to cheer about. But
that's right, we're broadcasting live here at O'Toole's for the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show. My name is Jade alongside Ryan Ermanni. Joik Bell, who is just, he's so casual and cool with everything he does, just sliding those headphones on.
Oh, what a guy.
Hey, pick your hinds up.
What a
Tom
guy.
Mazawey, the Woodward Sports Crew. And game time coming up, the Lions taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben is out. It is in Pittsburgh. We'll see how it goes. A lot of people are hopeful for their first win. But speaking of which, we'll go around the NFC North. Vikings playing the Chargers today. The Seahawks playing the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers is back. The Bears on bye. Of course, they played on Monday. Which, actually, I wanted to bring up before we, just real quick. Last week's Monday Night Football game, it was the Steelers against the Bears. And a lot of people just real upset with the NFL, the officiating, the taunting call. Yeah. And I read an article that says that the NFL has privately acknowledged some of the bad calls that were made, not including the taunting call, though, against Cassius Marsh, which...
they fined him, too. Fined him $5,000.
Yeah, they fined him.
Ridiculous.
Which I just don't understand, because every angle that you watch, I mean, that ref was, twerking right into him. He threw his booty out. What is the deal?
Was it taunting or was it bumping into the
No,
ref?
it was taunting. It was him yapping at the Steelers sideline.
I got a different perspective about
He
this.
didn't say anything. He just looked over there.
No, he was
I get a different perspective on this.
Tell us your perspective, Ryan.
This Marsh guy for the Chicago Bears, okay?
Yeah.
Cassius Marsh.
You make a play defensively. You're a practice squad player that got brought up. What are you doing running over to the Pittsburgh sideline?
He didn't run over to the sideline.
Okay, what are you doing strolling over to the Pittsburgh?
They cut him.
Fine. You just made a play. Go back and celebrate with your teammates.
He's telling him, you cut me? Here,
He went halfway over to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Took 5 steps. Relax.
Come on, Joy.
Relax.
Come on.
Let the man have his moment.
He was all the way near the Pittsburgh. What are you doing to even put your team in a position like that to get a taunting penalty?
Let me. Can I take this, guys?
Absolutely, Joy.
Go ahead, please.
Come on, Joy.
Tell us what you got.
As a sport athlete, right? It's only you don't own anything, but you're not giving too much. You're giving time, right? That was his time. You don't take that from him. He went out there, played against a team that didn't want him, cut him, made a play that could have helped seal the game, right? And then, they ended up winning the game. Well, they ended up losing the game, but he went out there, made a play. He enjoyed it. he was living in the moment. He
Right.
might not ever have that moment again. It wasn't egregious. He wasn't running to the sideline and talking. He went over there, looked at him. He did his karate
He
kick.
gave the appearance of
doesn't
walking
matter
over
what
to
the
the
appearance-
sideline
it was
and
the
John
appearance.
at him.
It doesn't matter what it appeared. What did he say? He was only 5 steps away from the ref, and the ref was in the middle of the field. He only, he took like 5 steps towards the sideline.
It's a crap rule.
It's
It's a
terrible.
crap rule.
You took something. You took a moment away from a guy. You took a moment away from a guy who's been scrapping and clawing, and he gets called up. He makes a big time play in a big time situation in a key part of the game, and then you call that just because you want to, you're doing too much. This is my game. I control it. What? You sit down. You don't not call that at that point in the game. What?
They gave him the ball back, man. They gave him the
ball back in that key part of the game.
Yeah.
Didn't they
That's
cut
the-
that dude after the game, too?
No. So he goes to the sideline. Goes to the sideline.
Go sit in the truck.
The coach
Go
rips
sit
him
outside.
a new butthole. Coach rips him a new butthole, and then comes back and say, you know what? I understand. Apologizes to him. He said they end up winning the game. Took him and said, you know what, man? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. They end up losing, but still.
I think that the moral of the story is, and the Lions have gone through this for so long with the bad calls and the missed calls, and not just that taunting call last Monday, but there was a lot of other missed calls as well that were in favor of the Steelers. And, it felt very much like Bears fans were Lions fans at that moment, because
Or
how many
Michigan
times
fans.
have we seen, or Michigan fans.
By the way, speaking of the Michigan, did you hear the broadcasters, Sean McDonough and Dan Orlovsky, yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
So they're doing the Michigan game, Michigan-Penn State game, and Dan Orlovsky, I don't know if it was a shot at Harbaugh or whatever, but he brings up in their production meeting with Jim Harbaugh gives them, the announcers, all of the plays from the Michigan State game that he believed were questionable officiating calls, and was saying, see?
The Big Ten agreed with me. The Big Ten agreed with me. He's still living with that loss.
Can you believe
at Michigan
that?
State.
I mean,
Well,
I thought that was something.
That's a weird
there's your boy
move.
Cam.
It's
There's
a
Cam.
I will say Cam does have a style. He has got if he never said a word, he can speak.
No doubt.
He can speak for ages with the style that he has, and I don't hate it. But anyways, back to the NFC North. The Vikes and the Chargers today, Seahawks and Packers. What's going to happen with these teams? And obviously it's not going to affect whether or not the Lions make the playoffs.
No,
So Vikings, Packers, one of them are going, right?
Hey, the hard luck team in the NFL is the Minnesota Vikings. Every one of their losses is 6 points or less, and we've seen them lose on the kicking game many times. Vikings at the Chargers in Southern Cal. Who you like, Joik?
You know what, man? As we're sitting here, we're talking about this, and she brought it up. She brought it to my attention. I wasn't going to say anything about it. But I literally just saw what Cam Newton was wearing on that TV screen. And
It was like a white tuxedo.
It was like the white tux with the low cut vest with the bow tie, with
cowboy hat,
with the plaid dress pants on. I mean, hey, do your thing, man. And he had on the hat too with it.
He's always got, dude, that guy has got so many hats, and sometimes they're really awesome, and sometimes they just make a million memes out of them, because it's like, what is that? Like, what's going on? And my other question is, like, when you're lounging, right? Like, yesterday was a lounge day for me. I rocked sweatpants
that's awesome.
all day. Like, what is Cam
God,
wearing on a
that.
lounge day? Like, he's got the flyest sweatpants. Like, they've got to be, like, pressed and folded, and he just, I don't know that he ever can just chill with his style.
I don't know. I think he might get his jogging pants and jogging clothes custom made and then sent to the dry cleaner to be pressed and then brought to him.
More than likely.
More than likely.
More than likely. All right, Seahawks and the Packers, and what do we think is going to happen there today?
This is interesting. Both quarterbacks come back now. Aaron Rodgers after the COVID situation, and now Russell Wilson is activated today. He'll play for the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a great, entertaining game to watch.
And it's snowing at Lambeau.
I couldn't pick this winner if you asked
go
me.
to the Packers. The Packers are going to win the game.
Yeah?
Yeah, come on, stop it.
Yep.
I think Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are going to be right there with them and
I'll go
have
with
a chance to win.
How?
I'll go with Joy.
I believe the Seahawks with the week off come back and they get their quarterback back. They've been close.
I think Wilson is so ready to
they play their
again.
best game of the year today. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sitting here telling you. No, they're
Tell
not.
us.
Okay.
They're not. I'm telling you, he's coming back off the injury. It's cold outside. Come on now.
He don't care.
His finger's going to hurt.
His finger's going to hurt.
You're going to get hit once, it'll affect him.
Yeah,
gonna be like,
it's going to affect him. That's your throwing hand. It's your throwing hand.
I get it.
All right. So if anything happens to Russell Wilson, which all it takes is him throwing a pass and hitting his finger on somebody's helmet.
I'm with you, Joy. Actually, I changed my mind. Green Bay's going to roll today, and
they're not going to roll.
They may not roll, but they're going to win. They're going to win comfortably. Let's put it like that.
They're not going to roll.
No, they're not.
What's your prediction for this game?
I think the Seahawks beat them today.
And
I'm a Packer guy.
All right, score. Give me a score.
27-24.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here.
Joike's leaving.
These guys,
Joike's out.
Is
You still didn't pick the Vikings-Chargers game. You talked about Cam's hat.
We will take care of the Red
Vikings.
Zone coming up. This is the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show here on 101 WRIF live at O'Toole's in Royal Oak.
So let's get into it now. Lions and Steelers. Hey, Steelers got a break last night. Baltimore goes down to Miami and loses a football game. And now you look up, and if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, a win over the Lions gets you even in the AFC North.
Well, it's a beautiful gift for the Steelers, let's face it. That was a game that the Ravens were decidedly favored in, and if you look at this and you say, well, if there's a lesson to be learned, nobody can be taken lightly, that's for sure. That includes the Lions, that includes the Dolphins, that includes any team in the NFL.
Tell us about Mike Tomlin and how he's going to get this team ready to play a winless team.
Well, I think the biggest thing about it is understanding that you are going to personalize the battles. You know, you come off a week like the Chicago Bears win, and that's a problem. They barely squeaked that one out. So you've got to make sure that as you prepare for the Detroit Lions, you personalize those battles, put a face to them. Even though he's famous for saying faceless and nameless type great faces, that sort of thing. Back in my day, Coach Noel would be always about making and personalizing the individual battles. Who's going to win those battles? And that puts a peer pressure added to, the getting ready to play a game. And those guys, they will indeed rise to the challenge, I'm sure.
Speaking of Chuck Noll, in my lifetime, there's been Chuck Noll, there's been Bill Cowher, and there's been Mike Tomlin. Then you take my life here in Detroit. I moved here in '93. I think we probably had 10 since 1993.
Probably more than that.
It's just amazing how one team like Pittsburgh, and of course the proof is in the pudding. How does that happen over these years? Is it the ownership of the Rooneys all these years that have kept this team together?
Well, I think you look at it and you say, when you signed Chuck Noll in 1969, did you really think that you were signing 3 future Hall of Fame coaches in a row? How do you? I don't. All I can say is that the organization is so very strong. Dan Rooney, DMR, the ambassador. I get there's a lot of Rooneys. Let me tell you. And
starts with Art.
The organization has just been so strong and solid since I've been there. And that includes the chief way back.
Talking to Craig Wolfley, Steelers radio analyst, 12-year NFL veteran, part of the Steelers All-Century team. Craig, I wanted to ask you about this current Steelers team. How are they winning games? They're one of 2 teams in the NFL right now that have a winning record, but if you look at their plus-minus, they've actually given up more points than they've scored. How are they winning these games? 4 wins in a row, second only to the Tennessee Titans' 5-game win streak.
It's about cobbling some victories together. They have not played their best game by anybody's stretch of the imagination. But it starts at the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. The last 4 games in a row, he's thrown for nearly 1,000 yards, 6 TDs. The important thing is no interceptions. Defensively speaking, they've had an issue with first half and second half. They've been outscored in the second half. They've done a much better job in the first half. So they've got some trends there that they have to deal with and find out what the culprit is. But offensively, again, it's about, you got a lot of young people. Your center's a rookie. Your left tackle's a rookie. Your running back is a rookie. Your tight end is a rookie. That's a lot of youth to have on an offensive unit.
Well, defensively,
You're entering the RIF Zone on the DraftKings Rock and Roll Pregame Show on 101 WRIF.
Yes, that's right. We are broadcasting live here at O'Toole's in Royal Oak.
Having too much fun here today.
Rock and Roll Pregame Show alongside Ryan Ermanni, Joik Bell, Tom
There we
Mazawey, the Woodward Sports Network, and we are regrouped after the very explosive conversation between Joik and Tom about the
they brought
Seahawks
me
and
back.
the Packers.
I
Brought you back. You can't just walk out.
I got halfway out the door, and then Stick reminded me I was on the contract.
Yeah, we got to finish up a show here.
You don't
So
want to get
game
fined.
time coming up.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
There you go.
Game.
All right,
Gang,
we
not
are
game.
heading
Whatever.
into the RIF Zone. We've got some questions. I've been doing so poorly on the pick'ems for this, but last week or 2 weeks ago, I did pretty well. I got 3 of 5. Steve, Maz, and Neil 2 of 5, and
Ugh.
Joik, you only had 1 of 5.
That's gross.
Joik picking for Braylon, Neil picking for you.
Okay,
So,
well.
Braylon's still in the lead with 22, and I am still in last with
What's
17.
my record?
but
What's
I'm
my
back.
record of the ones
Your
I picked?
personal record?
My personal record, the ones that I picked.
We'd have to go to Steve.
Yeah, we'd have to go to the Steve to the videotape.
Steve, what is mine?
We'd have to pull the tape.
Steve,
Yeah, we'd have to pull the tape.
We
I don't
gotta
know.
pull
Let's
the
say
tape. We gotta watch the film.
We'll go 3 of 13.
3 of 13.
That sounds about right. I don't know, Jim.
All right. So the first question today: Lions plus 5.5 at Pittsburgh, and what is the prediction? Who is going to come out on top? Ryan, let's go to you.
Lions are going to win the football game today. They're going to win today 19-17.
Okay, it's going to be close.
That's always the score. That's a good one.
Joey.
Judging by my history, I'm going to go Steelers.
All right. Maz?
I'm taking the Steelers. Give the 5.5.
Have you decided what you're doing with your survivor pool?
You guys are making me take the Cowboys, so I'll take the Cowboys on my survivor
Thank me
pool.
later.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, and I want the Lions to win so bad. I just want it so bad.
Go for the Steelers.
So I'm going to go for the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to take it.
Are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
See who Steelers play next week. See who Dallas plays next week.
The Steelers will never be a favorite after this game.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, we're going to go over-under total points, 40.5. Now, when we did the over-under against the last game of the Eagles scored almost the entire spread of that one. So, Ryan, over-under 40.5.
I'll go under. It's that low for a reason.
Wet trap.
Well, yeah, if you think it's going to be 19-17.
Yeah, I'm going to go under just because of the type of game it's going to be. It's going to be a run-heavy game.
It's going to be slippery.
Yep. Not going to be too many. I mean, they're going to pass the ball, but I guarantee that it'll be more runs this game than any other game this year.
Mr. Maz?
I'm going to go on the over here. I just got a hunch that the Steelers will put up 30 here today, and I think the Lions can score 17.
All
over.
right. I'm going to go with the under because I believe that I agree with Joik that it's going to be a wet and slippery game. Mr. Steve?
I think if the Lions are going to win a game this season, it is going to have to be a game that is a run-heavy game. It is not going to be a Jared Goff coming to the rescue game. This screams run-heavy game. So I take the Lions to win, and I take the under. Low scoring.
Now, even though they haven't been running well the past couple weeks, I think with them getting Taylor Decker back, hopefully he can come back and give them that.
They're
push.
going with the all-white, too, on the road, which to me is a sure sign.
It's going to be like a wet T-shirt contest out there.
It's
All
Sunday.
right,
It's all white for Sunday because they're feeling godly.
All right. What quarterback is going to throw for the most yards, excluding Miami, Baltimore, Ryan?
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, I believe, of the Cowboys, right?
400-plus yards today.
All right, Mr. Joik?
This is the whole NFL?
Yeah.
Minus Miami, Baltimore, because they already played.
Who does LA have this week?
Ooh,
San Francisco.
Herbert's
I believe,
a good one, too.
Ooh.
Rams play on Monday night against the 49ers. The
All right.
Chargers are home.
If we're talking about today, right now, I'm going to go with LA.
Justin Herbert.
I'm going to take Stafford. I'm taking Stafford.
Okay.
I'll take Justin Herbert of the Chargers against the Vikings, although I like the Vikings in this game.
All right. I'm going rogue. Baker Mayfield's in it, right? He's playing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going rogue.
He's playing against the old Patriots.
Yeah.
I think Bill Belichick's going to have something to say about that. He hates Cleveland.
I'm not even a fan. I'm from Michigan, so of course I'm not a fan, but I'm going Baker Mayfield.
Hey, it's Baker against the Matt Patricia today, so he got a shot.
He's got a shot. All right, we're going to do some college football. Michigan State University next week at Ohio State, MSU, plus 9.5. And Ryan, what do you think? Who's
Against
coming out?
Ohio State?
Yeah.
Ohio State by 30 next week.
Oh, wow, you're coming out strong.
Ohio State against who?
Michigan State.
Michigan State, that's what you got?
Yeah, I got Ohio State.
Yeah, I have Ohio State winning for sure.
Okay.
You said 9.5? Where'd you get that spread?
We made it up. Because
You
it's
made
not
it up?
out yet, yeah.
All right, I'll have to take the Buckeyes then if you give it 9.5 only.
Yeah,
I
I'm
want
gonna go-
State to win, but give me Ohio
I'll
State.
say at least by 21 points next week.
I don't think it's going to be like that. I think I'm a Spartan fan, so I'm going Michigan
There you
State.
go.
And then, of course, we've got Michigan at Maryland, and that is also a made-up spread. Maryland plus 14.5.
Who's giving these spreads? Steve the Greek?
Steve.
Okay.
Mr. Steve over here.
Me and
Ryan,
Stick
what do you
put
think?
Michigan wins comfortably next week. I'll take the
14.5?
Michigan.
All right.
I have
Joy?
Michigan.
I'll take Maryland in the points.
Oh, get out of here.
Okay, I'm taking
Just
Michigan.
stay close.
Stop it.
I don't think it's going to be that
Did
close.
you see what MSU just did to
Yeah,
Maryland?
well, Maryland could have won that game. They fumbled. They killed themselves.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Of course, Thanksgiving, the big tradition here in Detroit. The Lions play every year. How many collective games have we all been to on Thanksgiving? What do we think? I know I've been to a few. I assume all of us, having lived here for as long, Joy having played for the team.
My Thanksgiving games that I went to here is a little bit different. We made a whole tradition out of it because I used to stay literally walking distance from the stadium.
Right.
My old place. So my whole family would come up. And the way that I would do it, I wouldn't buy tickets for my family throughout the year. I said, listen, pick one game. I'm going to get the whole family tickets. And they all chose the Thanksgiving game.
Sure.
So they'll come up for the Thanksgiving game. I have about 30, 40 tickets. I get a suite. They go to the game. And after the game, my mother and grandmother and a few of the I'm not trying to sound sexy, but a few of the women would stay back and finish cooking. Then, the rest of the family would come back and we have like this big spread of food. And but when I get back, I'd already showered. I'm clean.
Ready to go.
I'm sitting on the couch. The family's sitting, and I'm watching the Dallas game, eating my food. And by halftime, I'm asleep. And I'm waking up. And then when I played, we had you guys seen Hunger Games?
Oh yeah.
It will always the new episode. Well, the new movie will always drop on Thanksgiving, and I would take all the kids. We'll go watch Hunger Games, and then that was my thing.
I want to be in George Bell's family.
Yeah.
I don't hate this. I don't hate
All right,
this.
go Lions. They're going to win today.
Lions,
They're getting
taking
win
on
number
the
one.
Steelers. We are wrapping things up. We will be back here next week at O'Toole's for the DraftKings Rock and Roll pregame show. Go Lions!